More than happy to put that Georgia Heavyweight Championship on the line here on TV. Well, Mr. Heenan has just come up.
You see how that yellow coward took off when he saw me coming? Sure, he's made the statement he'll wrestle anybody. He knows Cox is dressed, not to wrestle, but in street clothes. He knows the Superstar is another commitment. He knows all these other guys have other dates and bookings, the people he challenged. Tommy Rich, you're trying to pull a con job on myself and the rest of the people. But we know you. We know you for what you are. You're yellow, and you don't deserve to have the Georgia Championship. But I'll tell you something, punk, and you get this straight, because it's coming right from me. Next week on television, you're going to have an opponent. You're going to have one of my family. I'm not going to mention who it is, but Tommy Rich, if you still got that belt, next week at this time, you won't have it. So you shine it up all week if you're lucky enough to retain it. You make sure that belt looks the best it's ever looked, because next Saturday, if you're still champion, it's all over for you. It's going to come right down to that. I'm tired of cheap talk. I'm tired of guys saying things that aren't true. It's going to happen right in this ring right here. But did you notice how that coward took off?
Oh. Indeed. I think Tommy Rich is my good friend Freddie Miller.
Thank you very much, Gordon. And, of course, the heart of the controversy, let's bring out a man who's causing tremendous comments all over this country right now. Let's bring out Ole Anderson, who will be the subject of today's personality profile at ringside. So if we can, Ole, if you would, here is Ole Anderson. Well, fans are with you, and of course, frankly, Ole, what happened? You got to just fill us in from your point of view about this incident that occurred just recently on television.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, it's amazing, I guess, to me that sometimes even I forget how people can be. I know how Ernie Ladd hates me now, and I know he's called me the egg-sucking dog, and he's got somebody apparently on his side, one of his brothers, to help him. I guess sometimes, like happened to me in the past, things just don't get done unless you do them yourself, and they don't get done until somebody is finally down. You put a couple of nuts on my head. People have seen me before. They see the teeth out of my head. They see the scars on my body, and I've been chewed up a lot of times. Well, Ernie Ladd, Tom Shaft, Superstar, Carl Cox, Bobby Heenan, none of those people are going to stop Ole Anderson just by putting a couple of nuts on his head. The only way that you're going to stop me is if you have to come to my funeral, and then you know I'm 6 feet under. Because if you stop me, you stop the people. If you stop Atlanta, you might stop me, but you're not going to do that. You're not going to stop Georgia, and you sure as hell aren't going to stop a bunch of people that are on here. And you're not going to stop Ole Anderson either. Now, they're talking about they got something there. They got a match with the Anderson brothers, or part of it, I guess.
Before that, Ole, I'd like to show a little bit about what happened during that incident, though, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, show that.
I'd like the fans to see it. We don't have time for a great deal of it, but here's just some of the moments in case you missed it. Ole Anderson in action. There was a Georgia Tag Team title match, Ole and Stan Hansen against the Superstar and Ernie Ladd. Let's see what happened.
Oh, wait a minute. Tom Shaft just came in and caught him. Hansen now Shaft catches Ole Anderson. Anderson drops to the canvas, and our time continues to fly. And Shaft continues to pound away, the referee ringing the bell. We still have bedlam and chaos in the ring now. Anderson being pummeled and beaten now by Tom Shaft, and our time is completely gone.
Now, you know, this happened right after the match. That Shaft, you know, has a reputation as a tremendous boxer and fighter, a real brawler, Ole.
Oh, no question about it. You take a look, he had a tremendous right hand. I've been hit by a lot of doggone people, and nobody's knocked me. Just that guy just knocked me silly. I was dizzy for a couple of seconds in there, and, well, as you can see here, it doesn't look too pretty. I don't like it. I don't like being down. I don't like anybody knocking me down. But I heard about Shaft. I know about him. He's got a tremendous right hand. He's a terrific puncher when he was boxing, and he hasn't forgotten how to punch now that he's wrestling. I don't know what in the world you do with a guy like that. I guess you got to do a little bit of ducking, and you got to do a lot of fighting, a lot of kicking, and a lot of gouging. But certainly, Ole Anderson is no stranger to those type of tactics. I've shown people before that I can fight in any kind of a situation.
Oh, yeah.
I think, in fact, that they ought to take a look. I made sure I wanted Tom Shaft, I wanted Ernie Ladd and Cox. I wanted all those people to take a look. Because it's been a while since I've been teamed with my brother, but the things have gotten so out of hand now that something has got to be done. And I asked Gene, drop whatever you're doing, come on out. Let's get the Anderson brothers back together again. Maybe that's what Georgia needs. The Anderson brothers together again. I want you to just take a look. I got a little thing here, about 30 seconds, showing the Anderson brothers.
You were the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. You were also World Tag Team Champions, Ole. So let's go back to that moment. Here are the Minnesota Wrecking Crew in action, Ole and Gene Anderson.
Fujiani and Tiger Conway. I think they may have something to say about this.
Ole now, he's looks like he's just going to pay back Fujiani for what they were doing to Gene's arm. He's gone right to his left arm.
Well, keep in mind, too, Bob, they don't have that third member of the team with them like they had up until last week that Ole was wearing.
He cut him off from the corner again and up hard to the slam, one of the arm. Well, the wrestling fans are legion around the world, and they have watched the Andersons for these many, many months now. And they have just got to be the top tag team in the world right now, even without that cast.
Well, it is certainly amazing how many tag teams who have adhered strictly to the NWA rules have started adopting some of the tactics of the Andersons.
He's going to put him away. Ole Anderson quickly ends the battle as the Minnesota Wrecking Crew pins Dr. Fujiani, and there they are, fans, the World Tag Team Champions, Gene and Ole Anderson.
The Minnesota Wrecking Crew, of course, you were World Tag Team Champions, and the fact you've called Gene back, it's a time now where you need somebody you can really depend on and count on in your confrontations with this group.
You know, there's an awful lot of people that I can count on. It's an unusual situation for me now. When I look for a partner, I got a lot of partners. I got Stan Hansen, if I can use him or if I need him. Even Tommy Rich, we've shook hands now, and I apologize to Tommy, but I know he's in my corner. In fact, I might even be in his corner once in a while. Wrestling number 2 has come back. I understand Ray Candy's back. Tony Atlas is around. There's a lot of people that I can call on, but once again, everybody seems to be kind of busy. You know, they've got their own things to worry about. Stan Hansen's got his problems, and Tommy Rich, of course, a great Georgia heavyweight champion. He's got his problems. So there's one guy that was available that I could get, and there's nothing like having your own flesh and blood come back home. There's nothing like having your own brother, and that's who I got in my corner. I got Gene Anderson coming back, and I think Gene Anderson and Ole Anderson back together again. The Minnesota Wrecking Crew, you put us against anybody. You put us against Ladd, you put us against Shaft, you put us against Superstar, Carl Cox, Bobby Heenan, throw in a bunch, because like this is the way it is. In order to beat Andersons, there's nothing to it. I used to say it all the time. You can beat Anderson just like that, I guess. But now, you got to beat not only Andersons, but you got to beat everybody in the whole damn state of Georgia, and ain't no way to do it.
All right. Thank you, Ole. I'm fired up, Ole Anderson.
I'm doing all right.
We're glad you are, and just for the benefit of all the fans, let's show exactly what happened. Gordon's voice narrating exactly what happened when you were defending that belt. You'd been challenged by Heenan. You defended it right here on television. Here's what occurred at that time.
Caught with a knee. Has him down a count of 2. No, sir. Powered out before the count of 3. He powered out before that count of 3. And Heenan has lit his victory cigar. Heenan has lit his victory cigar. He must feel he's got it all going his way. But the champion is firing back in desperation now. The challenger docks down. Beautiful high knee lift. Heenan up there, and Ole Anderson grabs him and takes him out of the way. Ole Anderson hurt him, and Anderson caught now from behind. Anderson caught now from behind. Tommy Rich has scored a pinfall, but we've got them all in there now. Tommy Rich scored the pinfall and defeated Killer Carl Cox. After, and now there's Heenan in there. It's Tommy Wildfire Rich powering away, catches Cox. Cox catches him back. Anderson on the canvas, having the shirt completely torn away from him by the Superstar. We've got total bedlam and chaos here in the ring. And it is Tommy Wildfire Rich pounding away, and now all of a sudden, Tommy Rich catches, he's caught. Bobby Heenan, and now wait a second. Killer Carl Cox has that lighted, but crashes it into the face. He caught him in the face with that cigar. Caught him in the face with that cigar. And I don't know how badly, but it appears to me that, Ole Anderson.
All right, Tommy, there's exactly what happened. He caught you with a burning cigar right here on television after you'd won and defended your belt very well.
Yes, sir. I don't know what Mr. Heenan or Mr. Cox, either one, had in their mind. But right here, there's the Georgia belt, Cox, Heenan. I got that, and you can't take it away from me. You stuck the cigar in my face, and I don't know if you thought that would run me out of Georgia or what you was going to do. But right now, you just listen to me, Cox and Heenan, because before it's all over, you know, you look at it. You look at it. You want to see it, brother. You look at it. Right there it is, Cox, Heenan, and I don't care where it's at. Atlanta, Georgia, Columbus, Georgia. But before it's all over, we're going to come together, and I'm going to get you back. If it takes me getting a cigar, a cigarette, or whatever it takes, Cox, Heenan, you know, and rumor is Harley Race might have a little something to do with it. But I don't care what it comes down to. I've got the Georgia belt now. And, you know, they thought they was going to run me out of Georgia, Freddie, but I'm still right here. My face is burnt, but it'll get well. But I won't forget, because when I get up in the mornings, Cox, I remember exactly who stuck the cigar in my face. So you think about it. You look at it right now, Cox, because right there it is. And before it's all over, just like I said, I'll get you. If it takes all I got, I'm going to get you, Cox.
From that, in other words, you have to move ahead of your man mentally at all times in the ring. Lynn Owen now with a side headlock on Stan Hansen. Hansen down to one knee. Back on his feet up against those ring ropes. The referee calls for the break. Arm drag takedown by Hansen has Owen to the canvas. Hansen went to an inside armbar. The bad man from Borger, Texas. Of course, the state of Texas has produced a whole bunch of great wrestlers, no question about that. About men like Wahoo McDaniel, Dory Funk Jr., Terry Funk. Stan Hansen, Dusty Rhodes, all great wrestlers from the state of Texas. I'd say hi to all of our good friends who watch us in Texas, particularly those in the Del Rio area. Hansen now keeping that armbar. Cinched down on Lynn Owen. And it is Lynn Owen now pressing the advantage on Stan Hansen. So as I was saying, size alone does not make the difference. Lynn Owen moving effectively now against Stan Hansen. Catches Hansen back of the ear that time. Has Hansen staggered. Cinches down again with that side at him. Look at this Hansen bring him up and back. A belly to back suplex, and that's where the strength and size did play an important factor. He was able to bring the man up. A backdrop by Hansen. Has Lynn Owen down again. Hansen brings him up again into a backbreaker. Hansen crashes down. Hansen drives a knee into the chest of Lynn Owen. Does not allow the pin. Brings him back up. Catches him with that lariat. Caught him with the lariat.